us on the road going into the dip. I think it's him. It looked like him. I might be wrong, but was it a leopard? It was, hey, Vildy? Yeah. So I think I saw him. It was just out the corner of my eye. I saw movement on the road, so it looks like down in the dip here is where he is. I'm just going to try and double check. Do you see it as well, VM? Excellent. So VM also saw it, which is good news. To the right, there he is. Yeah, so we've got him. Excellent. Woohoo! Leopard, which is amazing. So spots are always good, and we are lucky. I just need to let the guys in the east know, because I know there's people that are following up on him. Sessions, I've got Hukumuri. He's crossed north in the Mulawati. I don't know if you'll get visual anymore. So he's going down into the drainage line, so let's just go back. So the guys are just asking me about the lines. Yeah, they're flat. Where you guys lost visual of them. So there he goes. So this is the first time that we have Hukumuri in the Mulawati riverbed that I know about or heard about. So, and he's now pushing further east. So he's going up the fire break, which is super interesting. And, well, Tundi and Cub better watch out, because he's now deep inside where Tingana has been spending time, where Tundi's been spending a lot of time. And look at him. He looks as though he's on a mission. He's kind of in a situation where he's striding around, and he doesn't look like he's too tentative, does it? He's almost got his head down, kind of walking along, and it seems as though he wants to kind of take over, and for sure. So we're going to try and keep up with him, because so Jared's buddy, you say you're still rooting for a Tingana comeback. I think we all are, to be honest. I don't think any of us want to see a takeover, given what's at stake and how many of our females unfortunately are, you know, around with cubs. So I think we're all wanting a situation where we get Tingana to come back and to kind of really start pushing back in this area, but it's looking less and less likely. The more this guy is coming through like this, the less likely it's going to be that we're going to get a situation where we're going to be able to see Tingana coming back. But there he is. He's just stopped, still moving east. I wonder what he's up to, and maybe he's got the scent of something that he's coming all this way, but it is interesting that he's moved this far. James Richard, you said perfect timing for the drive to come back. Exactly. We've been sitting patiently there for the last 10-15 minutes. We did a little loop to Chitwa, hoping that he would come out, and well, it all worked out just right, because he ended up coming out as you guys came back, which is absolutely wonderful. So it was perfect timing, and hopefully we'll be able to stick with him. He's kind of just ghosting along to the east, and there's a road that comes out here. Where is he gone now? I think if we stop here, we should be able to see him. There he is. So he's just on the other side of this bush. It looks like he's going to scent mark there. Just want to see where he goes. I don't know if he knows, but there we go. Scent marking. So that is him staking his claim that this is our area, my space. I want it, and I'm going to take it. So without Tingana challenging him, and without Tingana kind of coming in and pushing him, he's welcome to do all of these things. And like I say, this is now as far as we've ever seen him go, and he is way east. In fact, he's now kind of moving in a direction towards Cheetah Cut Line, which is now starting to go even towards where Quarantine spends time. So he's definitely on a major move. Just want to try and stay with him, but keep the road quite close, because it gets very thick in here, and if he keeps his direction, then he's going to pop out onto the road in front. So in fact, let's get there quickly. Right, I'm going to try and get onto the road itself and try and get to sort of where we can see him better. And while we do that, let's send you back across to the lions that are having, well, a nice morning nap. Well, we are with him, and he is still on the move, but he keeps stopping and looking as though there's something here that he would like to hunt. So he's just off on my left-hand side, and so I'm not going through the bushes because he keeps kind of staring in the direction ahead of him as though he's spotted something that he wants to go after. So there you go. You can see him kind of walking through the bush. He does have quite a full tummy, which is probably from that young kudu that he had when Shadulu had her scrub hair. He was on a kudu kill, a little kudu calf. So I would imagine that's why he's still got a full belly, unless he found something last night, which is also possible, knowing him, the way that he goes about things. And we've seen that he's not a cat that doesn't... Come on, Rusty, don't start now. He's a cat that doesn't mind going after multiple prey items in a row, you know, so he won't just stop on one kill. He'll go after quite a few. The problem is he's going to drag us through the most horrific bush possible. Now, I'm hoping he's going to come to this termite mound, so I'm going to just park here and see if he does. He's just coming up on my sort of left-hand side now, and it looks like he might come towards this mound. Are you going to come towards this mound, Hukumuri? Come on. Up to the mound, or are you going to walk past it? No, I think he's going to walk past it. He hasn't changed. Maybe. Come on. He just has a serious set of eyes on him, though, doesn't he? It's these massive, kind of big, wide eyes that look at you and kind of cut right through you. So he's an impressive character in that regard. He's definitely got something about him. All right. Now, I don't know if he's gone onto the mound and settled, or if he's kind of gone striding past. I'm just going to try and go around and see. Oh, sorry, Vim. There he's on the mound, but he's going off it now. So he's not settling at all. It seems as though he's doing his own thing today. No, you're going to go back to the road now. Hukumuri, what are you up to? So it seems as though he wants to now go the other side. So I'm going to go back. Tammy, you're wondering if he's hunting. I think he's doing two things. I think he's more on a sort of exploratory mission, because like I say, we've never seen his tracks here. No one's ever seen him this side or this far east before. So I think it's more that he's exploring and trying to just stretch his sort of bounds of his territory. But while he's doing that, he certainly is not going to kind of sneeze at the opportunity to hunt. So if there's a chance to hunt something, I think he will hunt. But what he's really doing is all about marking territory and checking if he can find himself a new area and expand what he's already got. But I mean, he's taking a massive chunk now. If you think that he's going all the way from Simambili Elephant Plains all the way to this side, that is a huge area, and it's bigger than what even Tingana was using for a while. So he's pushing, and nobody's answering his kind of advances, and that's why he's doing it. It's any leopard will do this. They'll take as much as they can. So Shannon, you're wondering if a female will go into a false estrus to fool a new leopard. So yes, Shannon, they do sometimes do that, particularly if they're just trying to protect a cub that they've got. They might pretend like they got an estrus and mate with him. The problem is that all of our leopards that are around this section, their cubs are probably a little too old to fool him. So I don't think they would get away with it. There's a dove that's got some serious, some serious attitude. I wouldn't stand there if Hukumuri was walking straight towards me like that if I was a dove. And it still hasn't flown away, has it? No, okay, there we go. A clever dove. I suppose if you can fly, then you do these things. But he's an interesting fella, isn't he? He always looks so serious, as though there's something going on. And he reminds me a bit of Heath Ledger in the Batman movie when he's the Joker, and he's like wild-eyed and very kind of all over the place. I don't know why he does, but it's just something that he does remind me of. But let's see where he goes. I'm interested to see how much further east he pushes, because like I say, we're now going towards Cheetah Cut Line, which means that quarantine is also now a factor in all of what's going on, and Hosana certainly is now going to feel some pressure, because this is an area that Hosana does move around in. We're not far from Chitwa at all, and so things have changed with this movement of Hukumuri coming in. We need another leopard now to stand up to him and say enough and push him back west, because all of our leopards now potentially are going to be in danger if he keeps moving like this. There's Kuchava, there's Tandi, Shadow, all of them are potentially cats that might have a problem. And you see, look, he's sniffing. I wonder if he's picked up a scent of another leopard there. This is a road that Tandi uses regularly, so would imagine that maybe he's sniffing her scent. He didn't flemish and grimace, so it seems as though he's not going to pick up, or he didn't pick up anything that's too fresh there. Now, Triple, you're wondering if Hukumuri came from another territory, did that mean he got defeated from there? So, possibly. I mean, we don't know anything about him. We don't know what his past is. He doesn't look like a leopard that's old enough to have kind of won and lost territories many times. I think this is the first time that he's really kind of going territorial, and so I don't think yet we've had that situation where he's been overthrown. I think he's probably gone through multiple different males' territories and has been kind of pushed as he's gone about it, but I don't think he's in a situation where he's held a territory and then been chased. But you can see he's, well, trying to scent mark. Nothing's really coming out. If you run yourself dry from walking so much this morning, to give you an idea how far this male leopard has walked, he has come from Arethusa this morning. He was found crossing from Arethusa into Hofmans. He's walked from Hofmans into Little Gowrie into Djuma, and now is still going northeast. So he's a cat that doesn't seem to stop moving. He seems as though he's always got somewhere to be and something to do. Interesting. He's still going, still pushing further and further in. I wonder where he's going to draw the line and just turn around and start going back to where he feels comfortable, or if he's just going to keep going until he meets another leopard that tells him no. It's going to be very interesting. Right, somebody's trying to get hold of me on the radio to try and get into the sighting, so let me just quickly answer them. Go ahead. I am still following our cat, and he's about to take us through the worst possible section that I was hoping he wouldn't go, but he is about to do it, and he's going to head deeper into this drainage section, which is very, very thick and very dense, and I don't know if we're going to be able to even follow him through here. We're going to try, but it's not going to be easy at all. There's a lot of rocks here. There's a lot of issues with big fallen over stumps, and the crossing points here are not easy across this drainage line. So let's try and see if we can keep up with him. There is at least another vehicle with us, which should help with the kind of following. Shane, are you wondering how long a scent mark lasts? Well, it depends obviously on a number of environmental factors. If we get rain, then not very long at all, because as soon as it rains, that's the end of it. We're not going to have any more sort of sign of him. Oh, he's very kindly crossed on the most convenient path there is, I think, in this whole area, which is delightful. So, you know, if there's rain, not long at all, but if there's no rain, probably for a leopard, I mean, I don't know how sensitive their smell is exactly, but it probably lasts at least a week or two, because I've seen leopards scent mark and then a week later another one come there and immediately stop in that place and start phlegm and grimacing and looking and smelling in that area, and so they obviously pick up the scent of the other leopard quite quickly. Right, now, whether or not it's going to be still friendly on the other side here, I don't know. Wiem, I think we're going to have an interesting following session here. We're going to have to probably mow down a lot of different stuff to keep up with him, and whether or not this is going to work, I'm not quite sure. Right, so we've gone over that section. Now he's going through another... Oh, we're not going to go any further with this leopard. This is going to be the last we're going to see of him. Unfortunately, I cannot follow any further than where we are. I'm going to try find a place to get round, but I don't think we're going to have a chance to actually get onto the other side at all, which is going to be a bit of a bummer, but we'll try and see what we can do. I want to try and just send the other vehicle around to the other side. So while we figure out what we're going to do here, let's send you back across to Ali, who I think is just driving about, and I wonder what else she'll find this morning. We have indeed, and he's busy stalking some impalas. So there's the impalas are there, and there he is, hidden in the bush. You can see he's kind of actually looking the opposite way at the moment, but he's been watching these impalas and trying to kind of just figure it out and see what he can do. The other very concerning thing about what's happening here is that Tundi and Cub's tracks are here, and they are fresh. They are on top of some of the vehicles from this morning, and they're moving northwards, and it seems as though he's not far. Well, in fact he's about 300 meters to the east or west of where those tracks are. Whether he's picked up those tracks, I don't think so, because he's not smelling to the ground, he's not salivating, but definitely Thandi and Cub are not far as well from this area. So hopefully him stalking impalas, he will be successful and catch an impala and leave Thandi and Cub alone and let them move out of this section. But it is all kind of culminating into a big drama that is about to unfold, and Hukumuri seems as though he's going to cause a bit of a stir. And if anything is going to drive Tingana to come back, it would be this situation that we've got now. So a male leopard deep in his territory, his female and his cubs very close by, and hopefully that means he's going to try and kind of come in here. But Hukumuri is staring at those impalas. You can see that tongue is out as per normal. He does this all the time, where his tongue just flops out of his mouth. I think it's because it's too long. It almost chokes him if he keeps his mouth closed for too long. So the tongue is out at the moment, and he's just watching those impalas with these glaring eyes. Now, we've stopped on the road because we don't want to move too much and don't want to crash around, but the impalas, there's two of them. So one is facing his direction, the other one is facing away from him, and so he's going to have a situation where he's going to have to wait for that other impala to turn its back. That's why he's just standing there watching them. Let's see now, he's going to go down and just check things out and watch what goes on. I don't think he's going to move too much until this other impala turns its back on him, and he can then try and get himself a little bit further forward. He's in a situation, is one of those where leopard is going to show extreme patience. This is what they do, is when they get into a hunting situation, they're not like lions or cheetah, and that generally a lion and cheetah decides on the hunt and executes quite fast. A leopard can sometimes be somebody that's, or a cat that will sit for long periods. It's calculating, it works it out, it tries to figure out, okay, where can I go in order to be able to hunt this prey animal successfully, and they'll be very patient in order to do that. The problem is that there is a squirrel that is alarm calling, and the squirrel is going to give away his presence quite quickly. The impalas haven't seen him at all, and it will be very difficult for impalas to see him. I mean, with the naked eye, it's tough to be able to make them out, but you can see the impalas are kind of moving through there, and they're actually almost heading kind of towards where he is. So they're sort of moving in that direction, but they've got an advantage in that where they're standing, there's quite an open clearing around this termite mound, and so with him being where he is, he's got a long way to go to try and get anywhere near that open clearing and anywhere close to be able to hunt them. While he's close in terms of, you know, he can see them and they could potentially see him if he stood up, he's far in terms of a leopard's ability to hunt. He needs to be much closer than what he is now. If he could get to this termite mound without being seen, then he would have a situation where he would be in a real good shot to try and chase these impalas. But he's definitely going to try and sit here for a long period of time and work it out and figure it out. And with us being on the road is not the worst thing, because at the end of the day, if we're on the road, we are not causing any hitting of trees, we're not disturbing, and the impalas often will be looking at us and not actually facing him. If we parked right next to him, you'll find the impalas would probably pick him up a lot quicker. We saw it yesterday with the lions. The impalas, or the lioness that we had, we sat with her and she was lying on the road, and the impalas just kept looking at us because we were just parked there, and eventually they picked her up and started snorting at her. So, you know, for him and for the impalas, we're kind of in a good spot here. We're not blocking anyone's view, and they can go about this as naturally as possible. But he is a tough guy to find sometimes. He moves very quickly. He must have spotted these impalas quite quickly. So, James, you are spot on. Hopefully he does get himself an impala meal or any meal and distract him from following Thandi and Cub. It will be a disaster if he picked up those tracks properly and started moving. Look, you see? The impala's turned its back, and that's why he's all of a sudden in a very different posture, and he's now watching what's going on. So he knows as soon as the impalas turn, that's his opportunity to start going forward. So his behavior is changing completely. Like I say, he's still far too far away to even execute anything. But let's see, if the impalas start drifting and he can just get himself a bit closer, then we'll obviously keep going with this and see what happens. But for now, he's in a situation where he's just watching and just checking and seeing. The impalas are still quite aware of what's going on. They know that there's something not quite right. I'm sure the squirrel alarm calling is what's started their kind of analytical behavior, where they're just searching and checking and making sure. And you can see his reactions are amazing. Every time the impalas move, he moves a little bit. Every time they look in his direction, he gets a little bit lower and stops and doesn't really look too much. But you can see he's pretending almost like he's not interested, but if they move, then he perks up very, very quickly. So he's definitely interested. It's just the situation and the terrain that he's in is not ideal for him at this stage. And he's got a pesky squirrel to worry about who's busy complaining at him as well. But I can see the one impala's come quite far behind him. Both of them actually have shifted quite far behind us. So there you can see them. I do apologize about the aerial. Unfortunately, they have moved exactly where the aerial is, which is Murphy's Law. So I apologize about that. Now, we are going to extend a little bit longer just to see what goes on. So hopefully we can just see if he gets into it and starts hunting. I'm not sure that the terrain allows it, but let's just keep with him for a little bit and see what he does. We'll give it another sort of 10-15 minutes as to see if he actually gets into stalk mode properly. Dancer's Dirt, you say he's in the zone.